Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV and a new edition of our online interview series. Today, we want to talk to Warren Gilman, the CEO of Queens Road Capital. Warren, good morning to Hong Kong, I think you are today. How are you?
Good morning, good afternoon from Hong Kong, Jochen. Great to see you again.
Yeah, great to see you again. It has been a while we were chatting, but now we really have a reason to do so. You are one of the largest, or probably the largest, convertible financier in the mining business, and you guys just did I would call it, yeah, even recycling of investment, even into a bigger investment, and making a profit of over 200%. So NexGen is getting now $70 million from you. Please comment on that.
Yeah, it's a real important deal for Queens Road, Jochen.
Mhm.
It has created and achieved all sorts of milestones for us. As you say, it's a very large investment, very large commitment, 70 million US dollars. That's the biggest investment Queens Road has made in a single name so far.
Mhm.
So very important in terms of size. Very important in terms of where we got the money, because as you say, the money comes from selling our very first investment. Our very first convertible debenture was with NexGen,
Mhm.
and we are selling that. We're actually converting it and selling the shares to an Australian uh, institutional investor, Sol Pattison. And we invested there initially 15 million US dollars. We convert it and sell just some of the shares, not even all of them,
Mhm.
for 45 million to Sol Pat. So we tripled our money.
Mhm.
But that is before considering we were making 7.5% coupons for the past 3 years on that. So we've almost quadrupled our money on that initial investment. We are taking that cash, reinvesting it into a new convertible of NexGen, plus we're taking another 25 million of our cash balance and adding that, so it adds in a total of 70 million US dollars. And the coupon on the new NexGen convertible is 9%.
Wow.
So the coupon has increased.
Mhm.
So what does that mean? Well, it means, and this is something that is very important for your listeners, cash available to the company to pay dividends. That number has almost doubled with this one investment.
Mhm.
So our cash available, I'll say that again, with one single investment, our cash available for dividends, which comes from the coupons on our convertible portfolio, has almost doubled with that one investment. So that gives you an idea of where our dividend payment is going to head in 2024 and beyond.
Mhm. Super.
Fundamental difference for the company, and very much proof of concept in that it shows we're very good at picking investments. We triple, quadruple our money,
Mhm.
and we're very good at redeploying that capital at even higher coupons.
Yeah.
So a very important transaction for us, and one that I think that all your listeners would really appreciate.
Mhm. Fantastic. What would happen if NextGen would fail? Do you have the full collateral?
We are unsecured,
Mhm.
but there is no other debt holder in the company.
Mhm.
So we are the highest ranking party in their capital structure.
Mhm.
And when you put it in perspective, we are $70 million debt for a company that has a market capitalization of almost $4 billion, billion with a B. I think we're pretty well protected.
Yeah.
I wish they would default, because it would be really nice if I could get my hands on that asset for 70 million. but I don't see that happening.
No, unfortunately not. That's right. No, but that is a great, how can I say that? That's a great proof of concept of your story, of
Yes.
your setup for the company. And I mean, we were talking about this in the spring this year. Maybe we can recycle some of the money. Now you did that, so you really held your word and you delivered on your promises. I like that a lot because I'm a shareholder of your company too. And of course, I look forward to receive the dividend in November. Unfortunately, it will be not that high as it might be in 2024, but that's okay for me. As long
It won't. But I make this commitment to you, Jochen.
That's right.
It will. This year's dividend in November will
Yeah.
be higher than last year's dividend, and
Yeah.
guess what? In 2024, it'll be
Mhm.
higher than this year's.
Yeah.
So we'll have had 4 years in a row demonstrated history of increasing dividends every year. That's our plan.
Yeah, fantastic. I like that. You have also another uranium investment, ISO Energy. So how is it going there in your perspective? Because we know ISO very well.
Yeah, ISO is, as you know, Jochen, uh, incredible deposit.
Mhm.
Uh, 50% uranium. I mean, this doesn't exist anywhere else on the planet.
Mhm.
The stock has moved tremendously in the
Mhm.
last few weeks as a result of people's gaining understanding and acceptance that uranium prices are going higher. Uh, so we're in a wonderful position with respect to ISO.
Mhm.
And ISO, just like NexGen had our first investment was 3 years ago, and we've recycled that investment in NexGen. ISO had its 3 year anniversary in the weeks just past.
Mhm.
So I expect in the not too distant future, we're probably going to recycle on ISO as well. So stay tuned for developments in that regard. But
Okay.
it's a
Wow.
wonderful deposit,
Yeah.
and it's just going to get more and more valuable as the uranium price increases.
Mhm. Fantastic. And I saw the 9.1% annual coupon is payable also 2.5% in shares, 6.6% in cash. That is fine. Do you still hold all the shares or have you sold some off?
I hold every single one of them.
Super. I
Haven't
love
sold a
that.
single share.
Yeah. Fantastic. Super. You are not only in the uranium, you are also in other businesses like gold, copper, etc. How is it going with Adriatic metals? That's silver, zinc.
Yeah, it's a polymetallic.
Mhm.
At spot metal prices, it's about 50% silver, and the balance selection of base metals. We love having the silver exposure. It is a tremendously high IRR free cash flow project,
Mhm.
and it is now almost fully built.
Mhm.
The mills will start turning in November. So, first production will be effectively Q1 of next year. So, we are right on the cusp of production. We are literally weeks away. And then
Mhm.
that company is just going to be flooded with cash flow because it's a very high return project.
Yeah.
So, that is another investment whose 3 year anniversary
Mhm.
comes up in December of this year.
Mhm.
It's a 4 year debenture, so it has a full one more year to run, and we're getting right now 9.5% full cash coupon on Adriatic, so a very nice return.
Mhm.
But I expect as a producing silver mining company in Europe that the share price is going to do very well in 2024 as it moves from initially an explorer, then a developer. Now the thing is built and we're just going to start making cash. So I
Mhm.
think the share price will do very well in 2024 and we'll be right there holding it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean the convertible is at let's round it to Australian dollar 80. The share price is approximately at 3.80. So you are already $1 up. with your investment there, which is fantastic. And yeah, so with that coupon, that's also fantastic. It looks like you have another nice recycling event.
We will have a nice recycling event, but as you say, we are already, even though they're not in production yet, we are
Mhm.
already well in the money on our conversion price, and I expect we'll be more in the money in 2024.
Yeah, absolutely. Then Los Andes Copper, how is it going there?
Los Andes Copper is a fabulous, huge copper deposit
Mhm.
just a couple of hours outside of Santiago in Chile. It is one of the few big traditional copper porphyry projects held 100% without any offtake agreements with anyone,
Mhm.
that's held by a junior company that's listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange.
Mhm.
And we've got a significant convertible debenture position in that company.
Mhm.
Right now, copper market, as you know, is relatively slow given fears of recession, high interest rates, the slowing Chinese economy. We are happy to sit there and collect our coupon until the next copper resurgence, and then we'll recognize significant value on our Los Andes converts.
Mhm.
Right now, I think we did it in 3 stages, and I think
Mhm.
right now either one or two of them are actually in the money on their conversion price,
Yeah.
and the third is not. But I have no doubt that in a relatively short period of time, that will be well in the money on all three of those. And longer term, a big copper deposit in Chile is a great thing to have exposure to in our portfolio. Great leverage to the upside when copper comes back into favor.
Absolutely. And I mean, we see also like the Escondidas of this world, those are very 30, 40-year-old mines. So the grades are depleting, the production costs are going higher. And if you have a great asset there, which goes fresh into production on today's prices and also cost basis, I think that's a very good thing. Then I saw also Contango, or there is planned already next year that they will be in production, because your convertible is the share price of $30.50. The share price today is like $18, $19. So let's call it a little bit underwater, but you have a 6-year term there. So there is a lot of time. And as we both know, when a company is in production and doing this successfully, share price should follow, right?
Again, great to have the gold exposure,
Mm-hmm.
especially going into the election year in the US next year. And it's looking like Donald Trump may be the next president of the United States. There's a very high likelihood of that. I think
Mm-hmm.
we all want to have gold exposure if that occurs, because the world becomes a much more unpredictable place with Mr. Trump back as president
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Contango will be in production next summer. The summer of 2024, we'll be producing gold in Alaska in joint venture with Kinross Gold, one of North America's, one of the world's largest gold producers.
Mhm.
Happens to be a Toronto based company. And again, wonderful high cash flowing asset that will be in production by next summer. So once companies make the transition from mine builder to actually mine production, we all know the share price catches up. So I've got two reasons to be excited about Contango. One
Mhm.
is their transition to production, and number two is Mr. Trump.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Coming to your yeah, investment portfolio overall, I mean, you have unrealized gains of over 100 million US dollars since your first investment, which is a really outstanding performance. Given the fact that you have like two, three, let's stay with the word because I love it, recycling events quite soon. What will you do with the money? For example, let's dream a little bit. Let's think about uranium prices going to $100 within the next 6 to 9 months, which I think could happen. Yeah, I don't know it exactly, but could happen.
Yeah.
So I could imagine that ISO shares, NexGen shares, will go through the roof, definitely like others. And so, as you said, you are still holding all those shares you have received also for the interest payments. Could it be also that you say, you know what, now an ISO share is at $8 or $9. Let's sell some, let's take some profit from the table. Would that mean that you do maybe a special dividend to shareholders on the one hand? On the other hand, you say, oh, now we have again $50 million firepower. Let's do the next investment in addition.
Jochen, all of those things are well within the realm of possibility. We still own all our NexGen shares.
Mm-hmm.
You might recall, your listeners might recall that 3 years ago we did a double investment into NexGen, 15 million convertible
Mm-hmm.
that we've sold now for in excess of 45 million. But we also did $15 million worth of common
Mm-hmm.
shares in NexGen. I'm so happy that I've kept those shares because those 15 million US of common shares are today worth 70 million, 70. So we've done extraordinarily well on those shares. And I think, as you say, we're just getting started. Uranium prices will get up to $100 a pound. And can you imagine how much NexGen will be worth when that occurs? When that happens, there's a tremendous recycling opportunity to both pay dividends
Mm-hmm.
and reinvest those proceeds, just as we have done with the debenture,
Mm-hmm.
into new convertible debentures that'll just add to our dividend paying capacity. So
Mm-hmm.
all of those things will happen. We just want to do it at the right time to maximize our return, because I think we've got a long way to go on NexGen in terms of upside.
Yeah, definitely. If you look at new investment opportunities, I would call it, what metals do you favorize? Meaning, where do you think you see better chances in the future? Or on the other hand, what are your important points or check the boxes which have to be fulfilled for a new investment? Or do you say, no, I'm totally open, the project must be right, the country must be right, and it has to look good?
Yeah, Jochen, probably the answer is all of the above.
That's simple.
That simple. But for us, in terms of priority, ore body is king.
Mhm.
That is the first thing. We have to have a great ore body or we just don't bother. Ideally, that comes with grade, or secondarily, at least margin. You don't need necessarily grade to have a
Mhm.
great ore body as long as your production costs are very, very low. And that gets into the technical aspects of mining in terms of how are you recovering the metal.
Mhm.
But a simple answer to that question is very, very high grade deposits, like we have at NexGen, like we
Mhm.
have at ISO, like we
Mhm.
have at Adriatic, like we
Mhm.
have at Los Andes. These are all relatively high grade deposits. So that's the very, very first question. After that, it's got to be in a safe country. Look at where we've invested. We've invested in Canada, we've invested in Chile, we've invested in Europe. These are places where we've stood the test of time. 20 years from now, we'll continue to own that ore body. 30 years from now, we'll continue to own that ore body. No sense owning a piece of a great ore body if you're in a place where the government will steal it from you somewhere along the way.
Mhm.
So it's got to be in a safe country,
Mhm.
and then it's got to be A, with a very solid management team,
Mhm.
and B, hopefully, in a commodity where you have the wind at your back rather than the wind blowing in your face and preventing you from realizing great upside despite all the great work that you're doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have a little bit of a bias towards certain metals over others. At the end of the day, I do keep an open mind, though. I'm commodity agnostic, and I'll
Mhm.
do any ore body as long as it's a great ore body for any metal. Because if I have the best ore body in the world for any metal, that's a great thing to have long term.
Mhm.
But if you can happen to get one that's a great commodity increase pricing environment as well, that's a good thing.
Absolutely. And I'm sure you have already a shopping wish list. So when your recycling events are positive.
Well, you can see what my wish list is from where we're already invested. You can see that I love uranium. I've talked about Donald Trump and the potential impact on gold, so I love gold. Uh, and unfortunately, everyone loves copper, which means it's a bit too expensive, but good to have some copper exposure. After that, then we get very, very selective and uh, has to be very, very much the right ore body.
Absolutely. Super. All right, Warren, thank you very much for your time. We already do that 20 minutes. Wow, that's really long, but it's so interesting to talk to you. Once again, congratulations on your very wise investment decisions you have done the last 3, 4 years. That is super. I'm a happy shareholder. I will definitely buy some more shares. That is also for sure. And look forward to my dividend in November. And yeah, wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jochen. A pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Warren Gilman, the CEO of Queens Road Capital. And you heard it. Recycling is key, meaning recycling of convertible bonds, of investments. And Warren, the team, has done extremely well over the last 3 years. That company is outstanding. Really check it out, have a look, because this is a dividend payer for many, many, many years. And as I know, Warren, he is also a real big shareholder in the company. He loves to receive his dividend too. And as I do, of course, and we love rising dividends. And you heard it, a lot of recycling events, money recycling events are in front of us the next 2 years. So the company has unrealized profits of easily $100 million so far. But if uranium goes, and I think it will go, it's only a matter of time, above the $100 per pound, I could imagine we talk here also about triple digits of millions of profits, which something has to be done then. On the one hand, dividend, on the other hand, new investments, so that gives more income. So it's like a perpetuum mobile. And that's exactly what we love, because we do not take the direct mining risk. And we have a diversified portfolio with like 6, 7 investments. That is super. In the future, maybe it's then 10 investments. So that is exactly what you want to have your investment to stand on a lot of solid columns, a lot of feet, and that is what we like. So check it out. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland today.